All right, so I'd like to open up the November 21st board meeting. And I think we're going to start with a presentation. Heather, did you speak to that at all? Or?
You're skipping the pledge?
Oh, wait, we should do that. Don, could you help us with that?
Isn't it normally on the agenda?
Yeah.
It normally is, but I'm not gonna blame Heather for
No,
it.
we've
'Cause-
never put that on the agenda, but I will do that.
No, I should know better. But Don, could you lead us?
But thank you, Don.
Yes.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, now we will have our presentation.
Yes. So as we spoke about last meeting, we are looking to purchase new sewer billing software. So we were asked to invite Garrett from Fry.
You got it right, Fry.
Perfect.
My French.
Yes. So I'm going to turn it over to him. And let me just make sure that I turn the camera. Okay, go ahead.
Give me for a moment. All right, here we go. This looks right now. Do I have the ability to do a screen share here?
Yes, let me do that.
So I was going to start off just doing a very quick overview of the software, just to give you a little view into what you're looking at here, and then we'll shift gears into the proposal. Okay. And everybody can see my screen here now?
Yeah, I just need some binoculars.
We make it a little bigger. Well, they have it too. It's in your packet as well.
I can try to make it a little bigger if needed, but it might start, some of this stuff might start to kind of run into each other a little bit, because I've got to blow on the screen quite a bit, but let me see that. How about now? I know that the bottom of it's cut off a little bit. Can you read this a little bit better?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So this is our cubic utility billing software. A pretty comprehensive tool here. We have municipalities in nearly 30 states using our software for a multitude of different services, whether that is water, electric, sewer. We actually have some entities that bill their internet out of it as well. So it can facilitate billing processes for a multitude of different services, and those services can range from, on the smaller end, just a couple hundred, all the way up to, we have some customers that are in the 20,000 and 30,000 accounts. So if you anticipate your village growing quite a bit, we're there to help that process along, and you can grow in our software without an issue. The first thing I kind of wanted to cover here is our customer maintenance. So this is what we call our customer information system. Typically, if you receive a phone call in and you have to answer a question, this is one of the first places you start. Somebody's got a question about their bill. And we have a lot of different functions here for searching, whether that's a book and account search, name search, an address search, a lot of different functions there to actually find the account that the person calling in is asking a question about. So once you actually locate that customer, you can click in to their information, and I believe the bottom portion of the screen here is cut off. Yeah, there's some tabs here, options at the bottom cut off, but I don't know if I'll need those for the demo here. Regardless, this is where your customer's information is housed. Their name, their address, how they're paying their bill, how they're receiving see, do they have a zero balance now? Do they have a balance of $50? How much of that is late? You can even run some projections here too to see if they are late, how much that late fee is going to be for them. And the software takes care of that for you. So some nice pieces of functionality here. Now, this may not be the case for you, but it is, I know, helpful for many of the municipalities that we work with. But we also have multi-property and owner information. So if there are cases where you have owners that own multiple properties, they can be set up as a multi-property owner in here, and they can even have their bills condensed so that they only receive one bill instead of multiple bills for each of their properties. And if they're renting those properties out, there are also selections there to where their tenant can receive the bill, or sometimes they're paying the bill themselves, and so that bill can go to the owner as well. And then the last thing that I wanted to cover here in the demo, because again, I did want to keep it brief, was on the billing side. So one thing we had discussed in the discovery process was how you all are ingesting those handheld readings, those meter readings. You all are receiving that from the entity that is actually doing those readings. And so we have two ways we can facilitate that for you. Number one is simply uploading that read sheet that you're receiving right now. That can be done here in the handheld billing upload section. The user of the software will come in here, they'll click the button, they will select the ranges that they want this to apply to, and then they will upload the actual sheet, that import file, and all of those readings will be imported into the system, and billings will automatically be calculated for them. Now, the second way we can facilitate this is a tad bit more automated, and that will actually, we will set up a process where those automated meter readings that are coming from the partner that you're working with to receive those readings would automatically be sent to our cubic utility billing system. So that download and upload process would happen automatically with just a few mouse clicks. So it could save you some time and effort on that end. I'm now going to shift gears to going into the proposal, unless anybody has questions here on what they've seen in the software. I did want to keep this pretty brief. There's a lot more we could certainly go into though.
Anyone got a question? I think we can keep going.
Okay, awesome. Well, shifting gears then. So I know you all have received this proposal. If there are any questions you have on slides, feel free to stop me. So some background on the company. Next year will actually be our 50-year anniversary. So we've been around quite a while. In addition to having been around for quite some time, we're actually a family business. My name is Garrett Fry. I've been with the company for about 3 years now. My dad, Matt Fry, owns the business, and his dad, my grandpa, started the business with his wife, my grandma, many, many years ago. They saw a niche for software to provide value to municipalities, special districts, counties, libraries in the space of accounting, payroll, and utility billing software. So we've been providing that for our customers for almost 50 years now. And we actually have some customers that have been with us for about 40 years. So we've had some that have stuck with us for quite a while. And that really goes back into the family business roots that we have here, where the customer comes first and we go out of our way to take care of our customers. So just a quick note from CEO Matt Fry, my dad. Not too much to hear there. As for the context, during our demo and discovery process, there were a few things that we kind of highlighted and included as being some nice enhancements in the software. It was currently outlined that the billing process is a tad bit cumbersome, a lot of steps, room for error in the process, and software like ours would either automate or add some strict guardrails around those processes, which will help reduce error and speed up the process at the same time. I know there was, Dan, hope you've gotten access to the current existing system you're using now. If not, we'll be able to get you set up in our system. No issues here soon enough. But Danielle had mentioned that she wasn't even able to get login credentials for the existing system that she's set up it now. And all of that kind of bakes into the current software being a tad bit antiquated and due for an upgrade. Overall, the solution that we have outlined here is for our utility billing software. Really want to highlight that the billing process will go from multiple days to less than 1 day, 1 day or less for that whole process to occur. We'll be able to import those readings automatically, in addition to automatically having fees and minimum charges applied to accounts and calculated for you. And then that second last bullet point there, unlimited support from our dedicated support technicians. One of the unique things about our company is that you are assigned a support technician for implementation, and that support technician is there with you during that implementation process. They're there with you for training. They don't go away after that. Whenever you pick up the phone, call us with a question, maybe you've run into an issue and you need some help with it, that support technician, unless they're on the phone with somebody else or maybe they're out on vacation, they're there for you and they know you're set up and they can assist with whatever question you have. So it's not like you have to talk to a totally new person each time. We have many different support technicians that you can get assistance with if something is an emergency and the preferred technician that you like working with isn't available. But more often than not, municipalities that we work with, they like working with the support technician that they were implemented with, and that's who they want to talk to. Any questions so far? Okay. All right, well, moving along then. So I wanted to highlight our support maintenance. It's really two things here. It brings a lot of value to the software that you buy. You're not just buying software and then you have to figure out how to use it. We provide dedicated support. So we have over 80 years of government accounting, payroll, and utility billing experience within our support technician group here at Fry Municipal Software. They're there for you on the phone or email. And we also have the ability to do remote desktop assistance. So any kind of things that come up that you need assistance with, we're there for you. A couple mouse clicks, we can help you resolve it. And it really does mean unlimited. You can call in as many times as needed to get assistance. Now, the maintenance portion, which is our regular updates, you will receive an annual update to the Cubic utility billing software that will have new enhancements and features built into the software. And there's no additional charge for this. That's built into the support maintenance cost. One additional unique thing that we provide there in those regular updates is that we send out regular product surveys. And this gives you the opportunity to say, hey, it would be really nice if this feature or this feature was in the software or if this different button worked a different way. So those surveys give you the ability to voice that, and we build a lot of those suggestions that our customers have into our software. So it's a nice way to kind of voice your opinion and have a voice in actually shaping the future of the product. So I'll go over this here quickly. The improvement process is what we've kind of put together for implementing customers, and it's a 5-phase approach. We start off with a kickoff call, we do introductions, we collect required information, and we set training and go live dates. Then we move into phase 1 where we do data conversion, and we get your system set up based on those requirements. We then do training in the middle of that. Now, training typically takes place after data conversion. At least one phase of data conversion has occurred. This gives you the opportunity to actually train with real customer data that you have. Once that training is complete, we make any final changes to the setup based on training. Sometimes things come up and we need to tweak this or that. So once phase 2 is complete, live with the system, you're billing with it, you're doing your readings with the software, and sometimes we identify some hand-holding activities. So using new software can be scary. It doesn't matter what it is. If you don't know how to use it or you don't feel completely comfortable, it's your first time doing something, we want to be there with you to make sure that you don't mess anything up. So we can identify handhold activities, whether it's billing or importing meter reads. That way, we're there with you. We've scheduled some time for it, and we can knock it out together. Make sure you feel comfortable doing it. This just goes over our specific timeline here. We believe that we'll be able to get you implemented in 120 days. That timeline could be faster, depending on data conversion. I know that was a question that I still had. It was an optional thing on whether or not you all would be doing data conversion. And my personal opinion, at an entity of your size, you probably don't need to do it. It's a little expensive at that size. But again, up to you all, and if you want to convert your customers' usage history for the future. Just putting some names to faces to names for the implementation team. The support technicians that I mentioned are on the left side here. You would be paired up with one for implementation, and then you could call any of them or a specific one with any support questions. Now, moving into the actual solution specifics. So again, we've got you set up here with our cubic utility billing system for 200 sewer customers, and then 3 modules here. I'll dive into in a little bit more detail. So it's our productivity module, which this allows you to do batch functions primarily. That's the big driver of it. So you can bulk update customers, bulk bill customers. In addition to that, you can also offer ACH payments for your customers from the productivity module. So if you want to accept bank routing information from your customers, you can actually run ACH auto draft payments from our software. Next there is the handheld interface. So that is connecting with the meter reading, the meters that you're currently getting reads from via a file, and we can automatically have those imported into our system. And then the last one there, data dictionary, that is the ability to export data from the system into Excel. So general standard reports can be created in the system. Sometimes it's still nice to be able to just filter and export data into Excel and then do whatever you need to it, whether it's creating charts and graphs from it or sending off a somewhat custom Excel configured report to wherever it needs to go. Next 3 items here. So first one, online training for Cubic. We'll get you set up with training for the system, whether that's Danielle and anyone else in the office that needs to be trained. We've facilitated a lot of online trainings for our customers and have a pretty well built out process for that. Next item there is the XEDC licenses. So just one, what I've got you set up with here now is a one user system. So that XDBC license is for one user in the system. Now you can have multiple accounts in the system, but this is a license for one user. So only one person would be able to be logged into the system at a time. And then the last item there is Crystal Report. So this gives you some advanced reporting functionality. We have some standard reports baked into the system, but sometimes you need something fancier, a little different, and that's where Crystal Reports comes in and allows you to configure and create any kind of custom report with any bit of data that is entered in the system. You can create a report with it, so it gives you a lot more flexibility there. Now, I believe Danielle had mentioned to me that there were questions on these slides, this kind of section of the proposal, so I'm going to stop here and kind of open it up to some questions.
I think on page 13 is when the questions started.
Okay.
Specifically what, I think I was unclear what the handheld interface exactly was.
Yeah, so
Which
that
you
is...
did clear that up. during your presentation,
Okay, perfect, yeah.
unless you guys still have questions.
Why is
You
it
guys-
two charges? What's productivity versus handheld interface? It's both the same price.
Yeah, what's the?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good, go ahead.
What is productivity versus handheld interface?
Yeah, so the productivity module allows you to do batch functions, so whether that is batch billing, batch editing, batch uploading, metered information, it allows you to do things in bulk. It also gives you the ability to interface with some hardware devices like a receipt printer and a scanner. I know those things weren't in consideration here, but those are features that are baked into that module. And lastly, also an important thing though, is ACH payments. So if you want to collect bank routing information from your customers, that way you can set up automatic ACH drafts from their account for their sewer bills. The productivity module will allow you to do that. It's typically a little cheaper than running and processing credit card payments. So we have a lot of municipalities that still like doing the ACH auto draft withdrawals for their customers.
Okay.
And then the handheld interface is actually the interface between the meters that you are receiving reads from, where we'll be able to automatically import those reads for you.
Question for you.
Come on.
We don't hold anyone's account information for anybody else. We are protected for that, but so is it just in your system? And how is that information protected?
Yes, so our software and the data within it is all encrypted. So, as far as the security side goes, we have a pretty strong layer of encryption applied to that. It's the Vision file system encryption layer. So that protects it. You do not necessarily have to enter that ACH information. That is something that has come up before where some entities say, we don't want to hold on to our customers' bank and routing information. The one detail to add to that though is all the bank account information is the same thing you would find on a checkbook. And plenty of people, less so today, but plenty of people still carry around a checkbook with their routing and account information on it. And that's simply what is input there for those ACH withdrawals.
I don't think we'd be comfortable with that, but it's up to David.
I mean, I
totally
prefer to
true.
stay away from, at least in the beginning. I mean, I'm open to it,
Down the
but
road.
as we get started, I would prefer not to touch that.
Yeah. We don't really take credit card payments we take them for taxes sometimes, but we don't like to do it because there's a fee. We will, but we still, it kind of depends on the situation.
Yeah, and on the credit card side, nothing is stored within the Cubic system as far as credit cards go. Those are stored securely on our partner's payment processing side of things. So with the credit cards, you wouldn't have to worry about storage or anything. With ACH payments, yes, there is some concern there with storage, but credit cards, nothing is stored there, and you wouldn't have to worry about that.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is this just for sewer that we're working on here?
Yeah.
So how do we use a handheld interface with sewer?
So that's not handheld going up to the meter. That's their term for when you go in and you're entering the meter reads.
When you what?
When we're entering the meter reads into the software.
And you need a handheld thing to do that?
No.
Well, we thought that too.
I thought that, I
Yeah,
that's just their term.
it's just
Yeah.
a
Okay,
You
okay.
don't actually need a handheld.
Okay. All right.
Or sandwich.
Then, like the meter readers.
I'm wondering though, Danielle, how would we because we currently use MuniCPay to take any credit cards, obviously. So we'll be continuing to do that for if you do take any payments or for sewer payments.
You don't really take credit cards for sewer payments as it is.
No, but if something comes in,
We would have to transfer the money to the
okay,
credit
that's what I
card.
thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we probably wouldn't need the credit card function either.
Okay, gotcha, and that's not, that was an optional, optional module, in one of the future slides, so, and I did have questions about that. So, once we get there, I think we can kind of knock some of those out quickly, because that's helpful context. So this is a totals kind of summary slide here. So what we're looking at is the cubic license fee. So this is a license to our software, so you're actually purchasing the software as opposed to a subscription where you have time-based access to it, similar to like a Netflix subscription. So with our license, that total, the one-time total, is $4,292. And then the cubic system options, so those are things like the crystal reports, the training, those are the one-time items on the previous slide. That total is $2,110. And then we have our annual support maintenance, which I do need to note increases by 2% every year. That total is $858.40. And then we have the annual user license support maintenance, that is $99 a year as well. So that total cost comes out to $7,359.40. And I'm going to move to the next slide. Well, yeah, okay, I'll move this slide here, we can back up if needed. This puts the costs here together over a total of 4-year period. So as you can see, the one-time and annual cost, and then the total, that is for what we've discussed so far. So you're looking at $7,359.40 in that initial investment, and then I've got the cost for year 2, 3, and 4 following that. Now, there were 3 additional things that we wanted to talk about here. Online payments and notifications, which it sounds like you all are not interested in doing that at this time. The next one was data conversion, which I've got that priced out there. And then the total is adding both of those. Do you believe there's need for any further discussion on those additional modules, or should we just focus on the total section based on what's been outlined so far?
So I think that we're basing it on the total, the 7359.40, that line. Is that what you're asking?
Correct, yeah, this section here.
Yes.
Who's going on with that collection, you got?
So that would mean if we don't, then we're not transferring the historical information to the software.
Okay.
Now, I should note, you can still import like customer name and address information. It's just not the usage history.
Okay, I assumed that, but that's good to point out because the assumptions aren't necessarily
Yeah.
accurate. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Mhm.
Do you guys have any questions or concerns?
Okay.
Well,
Right.
I do.
How do we do payments now?
But the questions I have is about one of these we have right now.
No, we're gonna stay that in. We're not gonna leave that one.
Okay.
So you can take that.
After he goes off, I'll have questions.
Check.
Okay.
In cash.
So you guys don't think this day and age it's good to offer the public or residents an option to do an online payment so they don't have to do check or come in?
We don't have the capability for that.
I don't think at this moment we need to.
Yeah.
I certainly think that it could be a discussion later on.
A lot of villages don't take that stuff over online payments or anything like that. Towns, not so
Yeah.
much villages. Tiny.
Yeah, and it's worth adding to that these modules can always be added down the line. They can be added down the line very easily. And I have the pricing listed out here for that. You know, the online payments notifications, there's the license fee, annual web hosting. So you
I do like the option that you can email the books instead of printing them.
Yeah,
So,
definitely a nice cost savings there.
yeah.
But yeah, if there's no other further questions, that's what I had to present today. So really appreciate the time. But yeah, I'll open it up to any other questions if there are any. If not, I think we're good to go then.
Yeah, so you guys good.
I don't think there's any other questions. We appreciate your time in doing this.
Yeah, no, not a problem. Happy to be here, and always just a phone call or email away. So
Okay.
any questions that come up down the line that you want to answer, I'm more than happy to answer them for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Garrett.
Thank you.
And is there anything else you need me for, or am I?
Good to
You're free to
go.
go.
Okay, awesome. All right.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Have a
Thanksgiving.
great Thanksgiving.
You too.
Hi.
So questions about the old software?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we have, like an existing mishmash of everything all jumbled together?
So it's a system that's over 10 years old, and for whatever reason, when I started, I just wasn't able to get put on, it's on my computer, but I can't log into it.
You get access.
I have no access to
And
it.
that's, and he said
Right.
now with this new one, there was only gonna be one person.
So even
So-
with AccuFund, the software we use now, there's
Yeah.
only so many people that can be in it at the same time.
But at least two?
It's talking
It's
about
not-
the same time.
Yeah.
There's
It's not like one
Yeah,
person
we share
ever.
the login and then.
So two people
But you
can
can't-
use
Yeah,
it.
so
Yeah.
there's, so there's
Two
multiple
people can use
users,
it,
but
but
only
like-
one person logged in at a time.
Yeah, okay.
But right now, we can't use anything because it's logged into Marcia.
Correct.
And they
I go on Donna's computer when she's,
See, that doesn't,
Well, it's very old, and we bought it just, it was like
well, it can be
$250.
very old, but why would only one person have complete access and no one else?
oh, so the current one?
Yeah.
So Joe has access to it still, and Donna has access to it.
Oh, okay,
So I
you
go-
don't,
I
but
go
you
on-
don't because, okay.
I don't, so I go on their computers when they're on lunch or whatever, if I need to do something.
Oh,
And she's the one that does the sewer billing.
I-
And
yeah.
the issue is, other than all that, is that,
Well,
so, and Drew wanted to maybe take it off and try and re-download it, but he was afraid that we would lose all the past data.
yeah.
So we didn't want to take that risk.
No.
And initially, when Marcia presented this to you all, it wasn't dire because she can use it, and now we can't.
And where's this being pulled from the budget to support that?
It can come out of contingency.
Sewer contingency do we have?
How much is in there? Almost 50.
It's a sewer contingency?
Yeah,
Almost 50.
yeah, there's almost 50 in there, just under.
So we bill separately between sewer and regular taxes?
So the people who are single or two-family homes are going to be on their tax bill. We bill commercial sewer.
Okay.
So,
But commercial is based on your actual water usage.
Yes.
Whereas residential is just a flat
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's why it's under tax.
and we get the data from the county, and then the problem is, it's a very difficult process for us to manipulate it on our own, and it's just, unfortunately, it opens up a lot of mistakes.
And a lot of the manipulation is because there are so many properties that get billed to one person.
Yeah.
So you have to go through the spreadsheet and delete the addresses that get put on the taxes. And then you've got to combine the ones who are the same owner. And there's no way to sort it,
That's
but
what I mean,
manually.
there's no way to.
So you're cutting and pasting, and leaves a lot of room for error.
And it takes
Yeah.
a really long time.
I mean, if you delete an account off that spreadsheet,
Yeah,
and they're supposed to be billed, you have no idea, you have no way to figure out that you didn't
that's
bill
crazy.
somebody.
Plus, you have to take everybody out, everybody, right? You don't just get the commercial in that billing,
Oh, we
right?
get everybody.
Yeah, it's everybody.
Yeah,
So-
I got that.
Okay, I'm good.
Jake, you have anything about this?
Just looking at your face, and I knew something was sitting there, but I didn't know what.
Well, he had a good concern, actually. He wanted to know why we couldn't just buy another box and just go through it again, but then you don't get help, you don't get assistance with that.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions?
No, actually,
He really
I think
did
the
a good job.
presentation was good. I like the way,
Yeah.
I think Danielle was talking about, because I had to set the thing, not the building software, but when we first had interface, and hopefully I'm not the reason why it's so damn confusing. Those spreadsheets, I took the tax rolls, and then had to take Monroe County's information and merge those all together and try to resort the thing and get it down to one, but then, once that's handed off, and I don't do that ever again. It was back in like 15 or 16, but once that's handed off, they take it in that form, I think, and now have to manipulate, like you were talking about multiple users, owners, and that's when my ears perked up when he was talking about being able to take, owners that own multiple properties or multiple meters. Sometimes you have one house or one building that has 4 meters in it, and has one address, and then sometimes you have one owner that has 12 addresses, and be able to put all that stuff together and have it merge in there, that's gonna be really nice, I
Right,
think.
I think that's the best feature of the software.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Which ultimately will help
it's gonna
residents.
take some
It's
setting up,
cleaner.
once
Yeah.
it's set up.
I
and
totally agree.
How many persons does this affect that we send out the bill?
I think it's about 200. Well, I think there's about 200 bills that go out,
Okay.
but within those bills, there could be multiple.
Just want to be concerned about
Yeah.
staffing at some point, because all the HR stuff we implemented, we're gonna have one person in the office, that's all we're gonna need eventually. You're outsourcing your own staff. And you don't even know it.
We already have a program, but this is gonna make it better. How long does it take you to manipulate the data?
It takes 3 days to do the full.
When we have passports, we have a lot of other things. You want me running around even more
Yeah, but
crazy?
I'm sure next week we'll be at the board with a robot that does passports.
Yes, absolutely.
Borrow that one from RGH that fell down the stairs.
Yeah. All right.
Carry on.
Just a minute, one more question. Who on the staff in the office is going to have this program available to them?
I think,
2 people, 3?
I think on some, at least 2. I think everybody should be trained on it because everybody accepts payments.
So anyone could go in there and change it? Change information?
I think we'll probably be restricting,
I think
know
that's-
how to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah, knowing how to use it and then
Yeah.
using it.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you took Donna, for example, she would have access to, put
This
payments in,
Yeah.
not manipulate what the readings are.
That
Okay.
makes more
So
sense.
her and I would have the main one, and then Donna accepts the payments. We all have a part of every single thing we do in the office.
So the one question I have, if you use a login and you share a login, which is a.
Oh, we wouldn't be sharing
All right.
that, yeah, no, you
Just
said that
one
there's
at a time.
multiple users,
So I
one
was,
at a time, yeah, that was a
so my, my concern would have been that.
Yeah, no, that was.
How do you know who did what?
No. And did they say at some point what it would cost for more than one? So for AccuFund, we have 4 users. So, and then we have one additional one that
You
is
mean license.
licensed, yeah.
Yeah.
So like we can 4 people can be in it at once. And then if 5, one person has to log out. So did they say like what the cost would be as if we did need to?
I didn't quite blank ask that question, but I think it is,
And it's not, and those are all things you could add on a different
Down the
time, so.
road, yeah,
Yeah.
down the road, just so that we know, but, yeah.
And if something's ever manipulated, there's a digital footprint to be able to see who does what.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have our usernames,
Right.
but, right.
So there's a digital footprint to track
Yeah.
everything.
Do other villages have this?
Not this one, they have other ones, they have, usually it goes along with their accounting software. Most villages do have this, yes, not this one. We're just not married to our current accounting software, so down the road, we may want to switch that in 5 or 10 years or so. So we don't want to get the same one at this time.
So what are you asking for us this evening?
We would like approval to go with this company.
Is there a contract besides this thing that we have to review? Is it a contract, is it word of mouth? Is it a
I,
handshake?
No,
yeah,
exactly.
you know,
There is.
Yes.
Do we play that? I'd like to see,
Our wonderful attorney will go through it and make sure that the language is safe, and then pending that, we would like to move forward with this.
and all of you seen,
Well,
email from
at the
Daryl?
end, it says, at the very end on page 17, to move forward with or adjust, contact Garrett. So this is
Yeah.
not,
This is nothing.
this is nothing for the board to approve.
Right.
So
No,
contact
presentation.
Garrett and tell him, yeah, we want the 7,000, whatever that number that
Yes.
was.
yeah,
And have him send this, whatever it
we'll
is.
get the
Right,
contract from them.
and then we can,
So you wanna review it before we just say pending your review?
Yeah, next meeting.
Well, there's
Yeah.
there's gotta be a resolution to authorize the mayor or somebody to sign
Exactly.
something to,
We can do that,
right,
we can do that at the next meeting.
yeah.
Okay.
It's just at this point, we're in agreement.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we want to see the contract and then we have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry for pointing that out,
Oh, that's okay.
but I knew this was not, yeah.
That was good.
All right, so we are going to move into public comments. If anybody is interested tonight, please, I know there's a lot of us, please take your time, limit it to 5 minutes. No. Okay, that's easy, I like that. All right, so we're gonna be looking for a resolution to approve the claims and warrants, which I'll give review and sign this evening, and so did Carl.
I'll make that motion.
And then, yeah, Judy or Al have any questions?
Pretty basic.
I'll second. There was very little there.
Trustee
Okay.
Lauer?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
I didn't see any.
Trustee Lancy?
Ah,
Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right, now I'm looking for a motion to adopt seeker on proposal local law number 5 of 2023 entitled tax exemption for volunteers,
Yep.
which you guys should have
Look
read this
it over.
multiple
Look at it.
times.
Yep.
Does anyone have anything to add to this?
No, I think it's a
No,
good deal.
I thought it was fine.
Don, whether you want me to or not, I'm not reading this through.
I wouldn't want you to.
Thank you.
What a kind person.
I think we should.
No. Jeez.
Basically, the first resolution is that it's not considered an action under the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, so that's what the resolution is, which is not an action, so it's precluded from environmental review. So somebody say, I so move.
I so move. I'll do
There you
it.
go.
I'll do it.
So the deputy mayor doesn't have to read the whole thing.
There you go.
Thank you. So, second it? All right. I'll second it.
All right.
Trustee Lancy?
Thanks, Al.
Trustee Belkane?
Well,
And Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Trustee Lauer?
Right.
Motion passes. Sorry,
So now I need a motion to adopt the proposal of local law number 5 of 2023 entitled tax exemption for volunteer firefighters and volunteer ambulance workers.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
And
Mayor Byers? Trustee Alito?
Aye.
Losing it. Dave, you're gonna have to take over my vote counts and my minutes.
I'm already doing it.
Ah,
So Heather, you'll, just on the,
Yeah.
you know, there were blanks on local law number, you'll fill those in before the,
yes.
so I
Because I have to
sent,
take the proposed off and that, so I left it until,
that's why I sent you the word.
thank you, appreciate that.
Okay.
Which, if anyone's confused, you're probably not, but it would be, it's local law 5, proposed local law 5, but it'll actually end up being local law 4 because we didn't send in the other one.
The cannabis thing.
Correct.
Oh,
We
yes.
drafted
Okay,
it, but
we
it never,
drafted it and
but it
didn't,
never
so.
went anywhere.
Right, so when it comes back, well, if they pay attention, it actually would be local law 4.
Okay, okay.
all right. So discussion on the sewer software, I think we've done enough of that discussion, so I don't
Yes,
know
sir.
what else to say. And then, here's another thing that Heather wants to increase, is turning it to our medical plan options. Which I love that this comes after our budget all the time.
No, this is less money.
Oh,
See, I told you I was gonna, next time we'll ask for
nothing's
more money.
less, there's something wrong.
So, I wanted to, with the increasing cost of medical to employees and the village, I went to Haler, Fryer, and Kuhn, who you've met Tom several times, and I asked them to look at offering any alternatives to the current plan. So, it's, if you see, it's in there. They gave us the numbers on the bronze and the silver plan. It's still a high deductible, but the difference is if anyone is interested in partaking in that, basically, it's less premium, but it's actually more out of pocket. But if a family such as, like, you know, there's a spouse and a subscriber, and they don't have children, and they don't go to the doctors a lot, they might not care about having a higher deductible. So it's just an option to offer. It doesn't hurt the village in any way. If no one takes it, then they don't take it. It's just to do our due diligence to offer a lower cost option.
That's great.
So I would need, and this is just preliminary, but our open enrollment discussion is December 5th, I believe, with the staff. So I just wanted to make sure it was okay with you, and then I did discuss it with Don, and I sent everything over. We would need to have an agreement with the union, just with their understanding that even if they pick one of these lower plans, understanding that the higher deductible, they will still only get the amount of the standard plan into their HSA account. So that would have to be agreed upon, which they are not gonna. I didn't want to waste anyone's time, so I did ask John initially, is why bother going through this. I said, do you think it would be, anyone would be interested? And he's like, yeah, there might be. Thanks for doing that. And he said, of course, as long as you're not taking like a standard plan, we have no issue with this. So I will just work with Jake and Don to write something up, and then we'll go from there. But I just wanted to make sure it was okay with you all to offer this other plan options.
I'm really not interested in offering it. I don't think we need to. That's my opinion.
If that's totally up to the board. It costs less to the village. And if you see the cost comparison, if someone does enter into that plan, it's less out of the village's pocket. There is a potential cost savings.
So what if one person out of the entire group goes with this and everybody sticks with the other? I mean, what is
It's still a savings, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit helps.
And if they don't, it doesn't hurt us anyway, even if no one
You
takes
see,
it.
that's the bottom line. It's not gonna hurt the village.
It's
And it
just
might help
showing
support.
that we are doing our due diligence, we're offering something at a lower cost. If it's not something you want to do, that's fine too.
There's 3 other turkeys up here.
There's more than 3.
It just needs to be a written agreement before you offer this to whatever employees you're thinking of offering it to.
Correct. Understood.
You wouldn't want the village to be charged with an unfair labor practice.
And then also, if it's not something you're interested in this year, we do have younger employees who may be interested in it. And we, I didn't say an age, that there might be somebody who would be interested down the road after they come off their parents. It might not be, they don't get to go to the hospital a lot, and, you know, it could be a pretty high cost to somebody who is just offering another option. You don't even know. So, I just need approval, and then,
Jude, Al, Carl?
No.
No?
Yeah, fine, right? Need a resolution or not? John, you need a resolution for this, or?
Well, there's not really, until you know the specifics of,
Yeah.
you'll take a resolution. At some point, someone's gonna draft a memorandum of understanding with the union that these particular plans are gonna be offered and with the same, however, it's the same contribution to the HSA account is currently in the contract, and take a resolution to authorize the mayor to sign that MOU. But right now, you don't need a resolution.
Just keep in mind, I will be coming soon because open enrollment is, I understand this is a short window, and so if it's too fast this year, that's totally fine. I can go next year, but, I'm not gonna present it to them, obviously, without, so I,
That all depends on how quick you get it to the next meeting. That's all on you.
got it?
But you tried to get us to authorize
I did not.
two presentations today with nothing with it.
I did text you Marcia's information as well, so you can feel free to read that little ditty. She goes, they have seen this 6 times now. I'm like, I know.
Marcia.
Marcia.
All right, so since neither of these two are ready for us tonight,
Nope.
Don, did you have anything?
This morning, Jake and I had a very cordial, nice meeting with the town supervisor.
Coffee?
Huh?
Coffee, donuts?
No donuts, no coffee was provided, no donuts were provided
If you have
by
the meeting
either
at
the
8, I
town
can do
or the
that.
village.
I can do that. Why is it always have to be 7:30? I don't work at 7:30. Jake doesn't work at 7:30.
You have to take that up with the supervisor, he likes 7:30.
What was the purpose of the meeting?
That's a normal
Well,
meeting.
it's the monthly town village leadership meeting. So it was, we talked about most of the same stuff we've been talking about.
Janitor.
No Xerox and what else, Jake?
Did he update you on the ambulance situation? I mean, where's that gone? Since that last big
He
Yeah.
did-
I think there's progress being made, but I don't think there's anything finalized, so I will draft minutes and forward them along.
Sometime in December, the town is supposed to get a business plan from Nequals. And it depends on what's in that business plan, whether or not the town is gonna go forward with Nequals or
So did they
Something
approve
else.
that one-time support?
No.
They didn't?
no. It's the current contract. Nequals is they bill the patients through the town,
Interesting.
so they're still doing that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks, Don.
sure.
Mr. Code Guy.
Just the normal permits, 17 permits, 2 C of Os, or 2 CFCs, 7 C of Os, 13 complaints, violations, those copies are attached, if you can read them, it's not really small, I don't know why. Update for the court for Dunning Ave, that is set for December 15th for trial, so.
That's the last court date then.
Aaron, are you providing a magnifying glass for this?
Yeah, that's what I said, I don't want to print out so small. There's some- I don't know, what is that? If you want a zoomed in copy, I can try to.
Just right now.
As of now, no code issues, so keep it on.
Change it, mine.
Both sit on the ground in front of the house, it's been there also. Which one is that?
Oh, the code issue.
228 Dunning, the boat in the driveway.
Yeah, it's registered and
We gotta change it for this. So.
And our big camper did show back up.
Yeah, it did, and there's,
Yeah.
that's why we gotta change the code. We got a big bus sitting in the front area there. They take it away, it looks like once a year.
Yeah.
Originally it was reported that they got rid of it, but they must have had second thoughts, I don't know. But, so yeah, so court for that, so I'll obviously give an update at the December meeting. Oh, I thought, you had questions there. New renters at the McDonald's are still waiting for our genie.
It's amazing.
I
This is crazy.
I don't know what to say, yeah, I
It's
feel,
Well,
I feel bad for
You know,
them.
Shoots Apple Farm, they have a barn there that's been waiting for about almost 2 years.
Yeah,
yeah, I know,
This-
I
this
don't even,
is
I
it,
don't
yeah.
understand, I know I talked
If
to my
that's
mom.
and we have no say or pull, so,
Yeah.
they just gotta unfortunately keep sitting and waiting. There's still some code updates that we're still talking, there's a lot going on, so whenever we get to those, we'll try and draft some of those up. Greenbrier Crossing's now slowed down, I just approved their last set of prints and issued their last set of, permits. They said probably until March, but they still have several buildings going on right now, you know, and this one will, a lot of these won't be done until spring, so then new ones will start in the spring. Works continue with the Dunham Flex Park, and that's gonna be ongoing for some time. They had some issues with their original first lots that they were gonna build on, that, they found out that it was a dumping site for concrete, some old buildings, I don't know. Jake, do you remember what buildings it was? Was it like some old flour mill or something like that?
There's no flour mill here, there was a basket factory and.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there was something that they had said, so they don't even know if it's a usable lot anymore. So we'll see what's going on with that. Several questions came up about the temporary signs, like the election signs and everything else. We're gonna have to look into that, and we'll need the board's input for that, and how.
Yeah, I'd like to eliminate
Well, what were the questions?
half
Well,
of them.
one of the big things were, with one of the parties, they did one permit for all of the signs. And I had the conversation with the individual that said, that's fine if all the names are on one sign, but when you have 6 different signs that are, you know, everybody else's names individually, that's.
What about the signs that are not in private yards, but you find them at the corner of the expressways and in the
Yeah.
businesses?
I actually have a vehicle full of signs that were supposed to get picked up, and I gave them basically till tomorrow at noon, and if they're not picked up, then they're going to the garbage. But literally, the back seat's full.
Oh, so you're picking them up?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But again, it brings us to the question, you know,
Yeah.
is one permit good for the whole party, or do they need, you know, individual permits for each?
I mean, I don't have a problem with one permit for the whole party. Well, it depends who's running. I may change my mind.
Yeah, see, I was just gonna.
There's
I
sign
don't
permitted
know.
about, like, between 1 and 25 signs and then over, doesn't our permit give a,
Yeah, there's one that's 11 plus signs, I think that's $75. But again, that's supposed to be each individual, you know, person that's pulling the permit, or pulling, you know, that's running basically. So, say you're running for mayor, and Heather's running for a trustee spot, you know, and you each want separate signs, not on one sign. Should each one of you get a permit? Or one permit cover each?
Because it's a ticket that's running together.
Would we have
See,
all of
that's
the
what I-
names
But
that
it's,
would
I
be
mean,
on
it's,
the sign?
well, that's my
On
thing.
one application?
If there was one sign with both names, that's what
No,
I
I
consider
mean-
one sign, one permit.
I mean, could you put all of the candidates on the one application, and so that you know what? to look
I mean, you could, but again, because I did have people questioning it, and I simply said, I mean, there's a permit for that party, but I didn't even have a list of the names this time around.
I wonder if there was some data, maybe I want to stand outside next time and ask people, did you vote when you saw the yard sign? Like, it's probably very little.
I think they should lose a vote for every sign they leave up after the election.
Yeah.
There you go, I like
And
that.
especially judges.
Or if they put them in your yard.
Yeah.
They put on among.
After the election, it's over, they should take
Yeah,
the
'cause
sign.
I know the DPW's pulled signs too, it wasn't just me, you know.
Yeah, when we were mowing along the expressway,
Yeah.
they're public, so right away.
Yeah,
Can
so,
you ask what some other municipalities do for that?
Yeah, I think it's the matter of the fee schedule.
Yeah.
There.
So
And-
if you wanna lump them together, you can lump them together.
And the way,
Or you can charge, you know, per sign, which probably isn't fair, but you could.
To see how other municipalities?
yeah, and, you know, when I tried explaining this to Peter, I said,
What does the village's fee schedule say?
Yeah.
well, for each, basically each sign, you know, is however many, you know, if you want 11 plus signs, it's $75 per, you know, per sign, or per permit. But it,
So $75 gets you 11 signs.
well, it gets you as many as you
11
want.
plus,
It gets you as many as you want.
so you can make 50.
1 to 11 is
See, that's
25 bucks,
crazy.
and then 11 or more.
Yeah, I think there's
75.
3 different, 25, 50,
So what's wrong with
75.
charging $75 for, if he wants to put up 100 lawn?
Well, no, that's fine, but
No.
the thing I questioned was, they only did one permit for everybody, even though there was like 10 different signs.
Yes.
They weren't-
So everybody wanting Republican, he just paid 75 bucks.
But isn't the purpose of the permit for the, there's a deposit, isn't there?
Right.
And that's based on, it doesn't matter
Based
what the
on-
hell the sign says.
It's
It
based on
matters
the
if
individual.
you gotta go pick up the sign afterwards,
But
and
how
you
is
know,
he
put the
supposed to
sign up.
know? How is he supposed to know what sign is part of what? If he didn't
Right.
give the names, that's not.
Because one party didn't even come and get permits from me at all. And then
Whoa.
one party submitted one permit for
It's because they don't have the money to pay.
for everybody.
Yeah, if the purpose of it's
So we
not,
can't
it's not
hold-
it's not an income stream, it's not a moneymaker.
No,
So
and
make
that's-
sure that we don't have
Exactly.
sign
Right. And
all
that's,
over the place, and we have to pick up, so basically to cover your wages, go pick up the signs
Right.
if they don't pick them up.
right, and,
Exactly.
and that
It
was
doesn't matter
my,
what they say on them.
right, and that was my point to him was, because he kept saying, well, it's just, you just want the fee. I said, I don't care about the fee, I care about the permit to cover that sign, so if we're questioned, can I produce a permit for that individual's name? And I couldn't this year.
That's kind of bad, because then you won't know if someone else just throws up one. You need to at least have the names.
Wasn't it fairly
If you want-
obvious that
if you
Peter
want,
Elder
but you
was,
still need to know what
on the
names
application,
you're
it was
looking
for
or else
all
how's
of
he
the
gonna know?
Republican candidates that
And that's
were
when I
running.
grew up with Republican candidates, but I mean, me
Right, well,
personally,
what's wrong
I
with
don't know, I don't know who's who.
How did you vote if you didn't know?
Well,
You
it's
should
pretty
be
easy
paying
to
attention.
look, it's pretty easy to look up.
'Cause I didn't know Democrat, Republican,
Well, it's
but
easy,
again, it's
well,
20
here,
years.
it's pretty easy to look that up. Go to the Monroe County Board of Election website. They'll tell you
Yes,
what
I
the
can.
candidates are and what party it is.
He's looking it
Or
up.
Heather can probably get you software that will show you.
But he shouldn't have to pay, he shouldn't have to pay $75 per,
Sign.
Well, I mean,
Candidate.
yeah, I mean, that'd be up to each candidate to do that, but,
well, he
There's
was,
an app for that.
but that's what I'm asking,
it's never been done that.
because I wanna make sure it's the same.
I think one for one party is fine, one for
Okay,
one.
so we just need the names
I
listed
think
out.
we-
It's
What
not
need
even
to
for
do
one
is-
party, it's whoever the applicant is. The applicant was Peter Elder,
Right,
right? And he wanted X number of signs. Like Jake says, it
Right.
doesn't matter
Well,
what's
it
on the
wasn't
sign.
It
Yeah,
wasn't
they
for
all
his-
said John, or they all
Well,
said.
Peter wasn't
60.
running for anything.
No, but it wasn't for his yard, it was
I
for
understand that.
everybody in the village.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, well, that's, and again, it's not for his yard, it's for, you don't,
For the party.
it's for the number of signs, right?
In the village, yes.
Right.
Okay, you're just saying.
You
I
you
wanna put up
didn't ask,
15.
doesn't, you don't ask, you ask the location of each one?
Technically, yes.
it's supposed
You're
to.
supposed to get that.
Well, did you? Did
I
Is
mean,
my
that's-
address on
Did
there?
you have Peter fill, did you have Peter fill that out, every address,
I didn't
every
even have
place?
the name, so no. And it's impossible for them to track too, because basically they
He
just.
doesn't enforce that part, but he's, I mean, technically, if it's some random person, we do.
Yeah.
Well, I
So I mean, we do other temporary sign permits throughout the
Yeah.
year.
Right,
Each
and it
person
would
has to
say,
do-
where are you installing the sign?
Yes.
Right.
If he has no idea, that's a problem. So we have to either be loose about it or strict about it.
Or we gotta change our permit that we actually issue, the verbiage on our permit. So I just wanna bring it, it doesn't have to be solved now, there's no elections, but I wanna bring it to your attention because there were several conversations in the last several weeks about this, so I said that I.
But why didn't they pick up their own damn signs?
Well, they did most of them, but the ones that were placed illegally, we took care of.
Well, in rights of way,
Well, you shouldn't have to go pick up those signs.
Oh, absolutely not. But we, like I said, we removed, the DPW and myself, we removed ones that weren't, that were placed where they're not supposed to be. Like, we even had some, I removed some from the water tower property that were,
I saw.
yeah, I, you know,
Okay.
and we take them down and more get put back up. I'm telling you, I've got, like, 30
I see
signs.
Peter.
Peter didn't, I'm sure
I
Peter didn't
know.
put that
He-
sign up.
No,
on the
he
wall.
gets
No.
gets a couple
No.
kids to do when they drive around at night. I think he does.
Many of them are put up by the candidate themselves.
Oh,
Peter
they did?
distributes them to the candidates who put them up themselves.
Yes.
like I said, it doesn't have to be self-started,
So if someone's yard had 6 different things, I had 6 different candidates come, or just?
No.
No, well, Peter's yard has several signs, he puts them up there, but a lot of, he distributes signs, I know, but he doesn't actually put most of them up, he'd be busy for 3 days straight,
Yeah, I
24
know Peter
hours a
does
day.
it. I remember him telling me he had a couple kids that used to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Because you want to support candidates, you want to support all the people.
You said there was one party that didn't get a permit?
What's up?
You said there was one party that didn't get a permit?
Yeah, well, there was technically 2, and the ones that, you know, some were taken down, some weren't.
Well, at least Peter paid something.
Oh, no, absolutely. But like I said, we just needed to decipher, you know, where the lines are, because we were questioned about, you know, other signs that are not associated to,
Right, so we just got,
yeah.
we got a little bit of time. I think the fee's fine, I think it's just
Yeah, I don't agree about that.
the signs, the
Just take care of
numbers.
the
So
details.
someone got
Yeah.
300 signs, it was the same price.
Yeah.
And within, we have 300 signs around the village, that could be out of control, so I don't know if we have to look at those measures instead. No?
You need to be very careful about regulating political speech.
You got it.
You cannot limit the number of political signs within the village of Webster. That would be unconstitutional, in my opinion.
No longer the freedom of speech.
Well, especially political speech. That's like the freest of free speech in this country.
Because that's what was
I just
questioned,
need to know the-
that's what was questioned about other permits. You know, there's non-political signs that are up year-round in some yards around here that. will
Yeah, I see a lot of like
support
Bill's
certain-
Mafia stuff, I think we should.
I mean, yeah, I mean, technically even those, I mean, you know,
I have a personal complaint about garage sale signs for sales that were over 4 weeks ago.
yeah. And see, they're supposed to get signs too, or permits too for garage sales and, you know, so anyway.
So you're supposed to get a permit for a garage sale barn?
Technically. That's why I said, we gotta look at the whole sign permit thing.
Our DPW superintendent was not doing that.
I am, right.
Do realtors come in and get a permit for sale signs? Probably not.
That, no, they don't.
But they're
specifically
supposed to also.
Those are
Technically, in the
specifically,
way the code is written.
Because it also goes along with contractors, if they're working on a house, they put up a sign, those are allowed, they don't get a permit. Because those are, you know, the whole thing's kind of,
Well,
Yeah.
the way the local law reads, it says what's allowed, but all of them require a permit. It doesn't say certain types of signs are exempt from a permit. It just says all signs, and actually, the way it's worded is kind of strange. I just looked at it. It says,
Heather, like Don and, why don't you want to looking that up? You got anything from the clerk's office?
I do.
I need new programs.
Our deputy clerk started. And she's doing great, and please come in and see her. We're excited today, our training is going really well, and we're excited. That's all.
We hired someone?
That was a meeting, we had a prior meeting.
Thanks.
but the sign local law, it starts that says, the following shall apply to all signs and billboards. But then it goes and actually defines a sign as a permanent advertising display upon any structure. Well, if you stick a lawn sign, that's not on a structure.
Or permanent.
So it already contradicts itself.
Right, that's why I said there's several issues with
In the very first sentence, but it doesn't exempt any sign from, but then the second section is, sign permits shall be required for all signs. Doesn't exempt realtors, it doesn't exempt contractors, it doesn't exempt anybody. And then it says what kind of signs are allowed in residential districts, like realtors, Bill's Mafia. Go Jets. Or Jets, J-E-T.
I thought there was a section that exempted some.
Number 11, is real estate signs.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
This is almost worse than nuts and bolts conversation.
Yeah, but it doesn't say in there that you don't have to get a permit, Jake. It just says you can have it, but up at the top it said all signs require a permit.
Oh.
None of these say that, none of them say they don't require a permit.
No, I think we established they all require permits.
Yep.
We're gonna limit
To be
signs to
continued.
12.
So I mean,
make Jody the sign czar.
yeah. We'll hammer this out. I don't have time to go after realtors for signs right now.
No.
But,
But we got some time.
or Bill's Mafia.
Were you done, by the way?
Yes,
You sure?
I am, thank you.
I'm good.
You're good? All right. I think that's it for this evening.
Yep, moving on.
Hi, Daryl.
Jake?
Move Cassie.
Hi.
I'm gonna go back to
A follow-up from the last meeting, we had a discussion, I think, 3 to 4 or whatever, about the vehicle, the issues we're having with the vehicle, our one plow truck. It's an intermittent problem, it's at a place right now, but they haven't been able to secure the part yet to fix it, to see if it's fixed, and it's an intermittent problem, so we're not gonna know. And I had a discussion about getting a kind of a backup truck here, to have with the intent of selling one either in the spring or the fall off to next year, send it out, to recoup it, but just to have here, during the winter time, because obviously the snow can't wait, so. I think I shared the last time I contacted our salespeople, talked to several other municipalities about vehicles that they had. A nice thing dealing with municipalities are pretty straightforward, and one of them says, yeah, what we're getting rid of, I would not sell to you, that wouldn't be nice. Talked to another one that was already gone, found one, found a couple, but one on Auctions International, it's a village of Dexter up near Watertown, Dexter, and went up there. I drove up there this morning after a meeting. Very nice truck, and looked for authorization to bid on that up to $46,000. It was a 2008 Mack GU712 dump truck with a plow and wing, and an extra tailgate for the sander. It doesn't come with a sander, but we can, if we need to plow, we can plow with just putting ballast in the back. So I've talked to the treasurer. She said she would take it out of the clerk's salary line, and that wouldn't be an issue.
I'm in.
Okay.
Why does he never gets in trouble for buying things, like toys, buying toys, what do we need that
This
for?
is stuff to
It's no
maintain our
show.
village.
Because we need to follow the path for the software to get here and deliveries.
Correct,
I'll
but
make that motion.
I'm gonna make the money to pay for that by billing sewer, so.
No, you can't do sewer stuff on a
No,
plow
the sewer
truck.
fund doesn't pay for highway trucks.
Unless it's plowing the sewer.
So, I mean, I know we talked about it,
Yeah.
you know, before at the last meeting and stuff, so it's, I just
Okay.
wanna make sure we're able to,
And what, all kidding aside, what budget line does that come out of?
There's a 5112-200 that has, we've got 2 trucks, 2 small trucks scheduled for this year, a flatbed and a pickup truck. We can delay those until after we sell one, you know, one of the dump trucks to get rid of. And then, once we get that, and ultimately, I think if this thing's, say we get it for 40, 43, somewhere in there, I think we take it to the auction, we might get 36. But the cost of having any, there's no, you can't just go to the store and get a truck with plows and wings on it. So having anything else here sitting there, would have to be like this, or maybe a loader, and we'd be having a loader running up and down the streets, and that would be $3,000-4,000 a month probably, at least, to have it
That's my
here and available
understanding,
to us.
the bid ends tonight, right?
Yes,
So we need to get you
yes.
you should have made you go before, he's good, before the sign conversation.
I don't.
Um, So everyone in favor of allowing Jake
Yeah.
I think you should bid on it.
up to 46?
Yep.
Yep.
Don, any concerns?
It's like Jake said, you don't have many options. It's not like,
Exactly.
it's not like you can go somewhere and lease, you know, a dump truck with all the plow stuff for roads.
No, I agree. I always just
You're
want to
kind of stuck.
just make sure I cover myself and my board members by always getting Don's okay. All right, so I'm gonna ask for a motion to allow Jake to bid very shortly up to 46,000 on our new
I'll make that motion.
I'll
truck
second.
with
Can we
wheels.
make that retroactive to 725?
Why do you like that?
He already bid.
7:25 PM?
Yes. I mean, I have a home equity line of credit if I need to, but I didn't think the sign discussion was gonna go so long.
As we talked about this morning, you can make it non-pro-tunc.
Yes, make it not pro tongue.
Okay,
It's a walrus with a broken tooth.
I'll second it.
I already got a second.
Okay.
2 seconds. Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy and trustee Lauer?
Aye.
Trustee Abolito?
aye.
Motion passes.
Next village board meeting is Thursday, December 14th, 7 PM. And Judy, I will try to remember that. And if no one else has anything else,
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving.
yes, happy holidays to everybody. Put up some turkey signs in my yard when I get home.
Only if you get a permit.
Software has got to cover.
Oh, wait, one thing I did want to say to you guys, this has nothing to do with business, is I really want to think about us getting some potential barriers or a plan with Jake on the trucks for, I just noticed during the Halloween, we had a ton of kids on the street and the only thing was up was cones, no police. And I just thought of a car coming down the road, driving over everybody.
Anything could happen. Yeah.
And I know we have trucks, but if we ever do anything large, I don't know if we have enough vehicles to block off the side streets too that we would do, so.
Why won't the town police, could somebody tell me why?
I think Jake is looking into
Any
why.
longer?
Yeah, we had a discussion, there was a plan to have the trucks there. I talked to the bid because the plan is to have vehicles blocking the street, but also leaving room for a wagon to pull through. Kind of
Well,
leaves
that's
you a
what
little
we talked
vulnerable
about,
to
yeah.
this thing smaller than a wagon. So we had a discussion on that, but this was the first, they were just as surprised as anybody, there wasn't any police presence.
Yeah,
So we had another parade meeting for the winter, or the White Christmas parade, or the Parade of Lights. There was an officer there, and we asked him about no police, and he was pretty surprised too. So he's going back to look at that, and why,
okay.
it sounds like there was a miscue somewhere. The bid pulled the permit for the trick or treat trail.
Yeah.
To do that, it was sent out, everybody said, yep, we got it. I got their,
But we
one
didn't-
reply saying, yeah, we'll let the patrol know. And
Nothing.
unless there was something else going on, there was just, or there was some miscue, there was no police presence. And so, once we got the ends blocked, because I think they started blocking it a little later than they originally thought, in the bids, they said, all right, let's start blocking it. There was too many kids out to drive trucks around.
Exactly.
And so our guys got tied up doing traffic, you know, they were crossing guards, because you couldn't drive vehicles out there with all the kids that were there. So, yeah, I like the idea of, especially if you're sand filled or something that we can move, but have something, some sort of barrier or barricade that we can deploy quickly, take it down quickly to get traffic going again, but have it there to protect the people.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I know, he thinks it
Please.
was. Okay. All right.
So you want to look at a couple different things and then,
Yeah.
I know Don mentioned using the trucks. There's also, as you know, there's also rental places, so if we have events, they can come, deliver them and take them away.
Yeah,
So we have that option as well.
yeah.
We really need to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Concrete areas.
With the Jazz Fest and some of those.
Yeah. I mean, one horrible accident is gonna take us out. So let's just,
All right.
Yes, and just to be clear, the responsibility of the party that gets the road closure form to barricade and block off. Since it's a bid, we work with them and like I said, had the plans, but
I know.
there's no word
So
to
why
put them.
don't you see about the bid buying the barricade?
Yeah.
Yeah, we,
Well,
I mean, we can use them for other things as well, but that's certainly a good, and
They go pass on this with a lot of things.
you know, I was just thinking of, I wonder,
And they're even 72 each.
those planters are pretty big and heavy
Yeah,
and easy to move.
yeah,
They're 6 feet wide.
they are.
We have 4-foot round planters that are
Yeah.
pretty good and heavy.
Put Christmas lights in them.
No, that's not gonna happen, but, I wonder if we could utilize those for certain
Yeah.
events. Like the Jazz Fest are out decorating the streets, we don't have enough, but it might be something to look at, because then it would be some sort of element that's something we know we can get, because we can put the forks on them, we put.
Yeah, my only concern with that is, I thought you could probably stick something in and having something reflective as well.
Right.
So if it's,
Oh, yeah,
you know, that's, yeah. Because I know next thing is someone didn't see them as it applied to them.
Well, if you put the planters out there with cones in front of it, that takes care of the reflective part too.
well, I actually have, I have reflective paint, that we could, I know sometimes where there's islands or little channelizing things, we did at the end of the island near the expressway, the town told me about it, because they use it on some of their, where they've got some spots, but I wonder if that's something, so it looks normal during the day, it's clear, and then the lights at it at night,
Interesting.
and it's, so, you know, it's kind of the best of both worlds, it still
Yeah.
looks nice.
Yeah,
But that might, but I think the planters, I think, are more than the barricades, so, and they're only 4-foot wide, so. But it'd be interesting to look at.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I just don't want us to keep talking about it and never
Yeah,
be good people that, missed
Yeah.
out on making it. All right, so I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, sorry, I jumped in there. Thank you.